In the previous tutorial, I showed you how to control a stickman character in a web browser using free software, Blender and Blend for Web. Because the character is in a cage, the physics engine sorts out collisions with rigid bodies and static objects, and it sorts out gravity. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to add code so that the character can collect objects in the scene, in this case Coke cans. I'll show you the code that detects the collision, removes the can, and increases the score. The starting point for this tutorial is the project made in the previous tutorial that showed how to control a character with a cage. If you haven't got the project, you can download the Blender file and the JavaScript file from my website and follow the previous tutorial that will show you how to set up the project. Before making changes, it's a good idea to make a backup of the project. You can use Project Manager to make a copy. Click Clone Project, call the new project my_stickman3 and clone. The files have the same name, but they are duplicates in a different folder. First, we have to add Coke cans to the Blender file. Then we have to add some functions to the JavaScript file. Click on the link for the Blender file to open it. Click the Set Recommended Options button. File, Append. Go to the folder where you have the model of the Coke can. You can download the file from my website. You don't have to use a Coke can. You can use any model, though a model with a regular shape is easier. Click on the file to go into it. Go into the Object folder, select the cylinder and Append. Click to select the Coke can. Click its Object Properties. Set its Y value to -6 and its Z value to 1.8. I'm going to change the name to Coke.000. When I make a duplicate, the duplicate will be Coke001. Click the Physics button, click Object Physics, set the collision ID to Coke0, click Collision Bounds and set the collision shape to Cylinder. To duplicate, hold down the Shift key, press D and Enter. Change the collision ID to Coke1. In the Object Properties, set the X location to -6 and the Y location to -3. Hold down Shift and press D to duplicate. Set the X location to 6 and the Y location to 0. Click the Physics button and change the collision ID to Coke2. We can update the Blender file and the JSON file at the same time by exporting in the JSON format. It should be Stickman2 JSON file in the Stickman3 folder. Click Export. Going back to Project Manager and clicking the link for the HTML file, the scene loads with the Coke cans, but they are static, immovable objects. To score a point when a Coke can is collected, go back to Project Manager and click the Edit link. Click the link for the JavaScript file, the .js file. We need to add code that will detect the collision between the character and a can. It will remove the can and update the score. This is the finished JavaScript file open in a text editor. I'll put the finished file for you to download at my website. The first things I'm going to copy over: a global variable for the score, and a constant, the end score, the score when all the cans have been collected and the level is complete. Right click copy, insert a blank line, right click and paste. The next things I'm going to copy over are calls to the two functions we're going to add. Find the load callback function. Here are the two calls. Right click copy, find the load callback function, right click and paste. Next, I'm going to copy over the create text display function, highlight the function, right click copy, insert a blank line, right click and paste. The function creates a web page element. It's nothing to do with 3D. It uses the DOM API. DOM is Document Object Model. It creates a div element, which is a container box for the text that we're going to put in it. And it styles the text, setting its position and color and making it big and bold. Next, I'm going to copy over the create collision sensors function, highlight the function, right click copy, insert a blank line, right click and paste. Creating sensor manifolds is the way to manage events that affect objects, in this case the character's cage. Each manifold has a unique ID. The ID for this manifold is impact, because all the sensors in the sensor array are impact sensors. This is the execution mode. When the conditions are met, the callback function is called once, not every frame. This is the sensor array, which I'll look at in a minute. Next is the logic function. Here is the logic function. If the sensor for Coke Can 0 detects a collision, or the sensor for Coke Can 1, or the sensor for Coke Can 2, the function returns 1 and the impact callback function is called. Here is the callback function. It starts with 3 if statements. If the character collides with Coke Can 0, then the Coke Can object is removed from the scene. Next, the score is incremented. If the score equals the end score, then a well done message is displayed. Otherwise, the score is updated. Scrolling up, here the impact sensors are created, and here they are stored in an array. Save the changes and click back to projects. In the Stickman 3 project, click the link for the HTML file. The scene loads and we are able to collect the cans. That's the end of the tutorial. I'll put all the files used in the tutorial for you to download at my website. To visit my website, click the eye icon in the top right hand corner. If you'd like to subscribe, click the Stickman. If you'd like to sponsor my tutorials, click the Patreon link. Thanks for watching and goodbye.